You know, what you don't address, you accept. I ask people, I go to school divisions and I said, okay, kids don't come to school, what do you do? Well, we send a letter. We send a letter after 5 days. Send another letter after 10 days. Another letter after 15, another after 20, then we withdraw them. We sent letters. And we've got a great system, a computer system that generates the letters. And they're all printed out and everything, and we mail them home, and we got it covered. The letter isn't going to get it done. The letter isn't going to get the kid back in school. You all know people. You all know someone who's happy to have kids leave school. Everyone here knows someone like that. Now, people aren't as willing to admit it as they used to be. But I know when I went to Hartford, there were people who said, it's good to have a high dropout rate. I got to deal with that kid. That kid's not in my classroom. I don't have to worry about him. He's somebody else's problem, not my problem. Well, we all know the impact of when children aren't in school. We know the impact of what happens when kids do come to school. Juvenile crime peaks between 3 and 6 in the afternoon. Any law enforcement folks here? What you don't address, you accept. And what you do address, and what you pay attention to, and focus in on, you will have an impact on. If you don't remember anything else today, remember this. This little formula, E plus R equals O. Events plus reactions equal outcomes. Events plus reactions equal outcomes. Events occur. Events occur in people's lives. Events occur in your schools, in your communities. We choose how we react. Therefore, we determine the outcome. Or think about an event occurring and what outcome do you want, then determine how you're going to react. How many times have we made mountains out of molehills? The child who doesn't bring the pen. And we react in a way that we engage the child in front of his peers or her peers and have a big event occur in the classroom. Now the child's out of the class. See, I don't really believe kids drop out of school. You know, we often talk about, well, what's the definition of a dropout? There's no such thing as a dropout. There are only force outs. We have created conditions that make it impossible for some children to be successful. Think about schools as a customer service organization. I work with a large school district in Ohio that'll remain nameless. But it's in Ohio. And in the last 7 years, 22 charter schools have opened up in that city. And they got kids, they're in business. When I ask the people in the school division about these charter schools, what do people say? They're no good. How do you know? Well, I've heard when the kids come back from there, they can't do this, that, or the other thing. Well, you know what? There are enough people who think they're good enough to send their kids to fill 22 charter schools. And that school division is losing 2,000 children every year. And they're a school division of about 60,000 kids, I guess. We're in the customer service business. Kids have more and more options. How do we create, we often say kids need to get ready for school. I disagree with that. I think we have to get schools ready for kids. It's a different way of looking at it. How do we structure ourselves? How do we organize ourselves? How do we behave to get our schools ready for kids? I live in the DC area. My kids started school on Tuesday after Labor Day. On Friday, before Labor Day, in the mail at 3 o'clock, we got a packet for each of my kids. It said which teacher they're going to have. And it said, please come to an open house orientation on Friday at 11 a.m. Well, it was Friday at 3 p.m. The orientation is over. What message is the school sending to me? What I hear there is you don't really want me there. Because I'd gone the year before and asked too many questions, so I probably mailed mine out late, but on purpose. But I think about the messages we send. We talk about parent involvement, but many times I don't know if our schools really want the parents there. Okay, join the PTO, make some brownies, throw some cookies at it. But do we really want people engaged in the process? How do we create a customer-based organization? A school that operates from a customer satisfaction base. I think that's critically important. What happens when someone enters your school? What message do they get? I went to T.C. Williams High School the other day. It's in our community. Ever hear the movie Remember the Titans? Yep. Well, that's the school, T.C. Williams. That's where my children will go to high school, my younger ones. And they asked me to come over to the school and just talk to them about this whole dropout issue. And when I pulled into school, brand new school, I didn't know where to go. I mean, I pull in and I go, where do I park? There's no signs, there's no nothing. Then I go up to a door and it says, visitors must enter through door 101. Well, I was at door 7. I mean, I got to go like how many miles to find door 101? But of course, somebody else was going in the building, and because I had a tie on, they let me in. As long as you got a tie on, you're covered. Ladies, if you got a dress on, you're covered. You're good to go. No one will bother you. Carry a briefcase, wear a tie, you can go anywhere. So I get in there, and we start talking. I said, here's an example. What's the percentage of non-English speaking students in the school? And it's, I forget what it was, but let's say 30%. There was not one sign in Spanish. There was. I said, you don't know. I don't know where to park. There's nowhere. I parked in a place that has a number on it. And what does that mean? It's probably somebody else's place. Now I go to Toledo, Ohio, another school division I work with in Ohio, and I'm going to mention them. You pull into their schools, and it says preferred parent parking. Preferred parent parking. I got the signs. I can pull up and show you on my laptop. It's cool. I mean, that's it. That tells me you care about me being here. Now, that doesn't cover every base for you, but think of the messages we send. The subliminal messages we send all the time. Think about that. Events occur. You can use this in your personal life, too. I use this with my wife all the time. Something happens, and I go, now, what do I want that outcome to be? Then I think about how I'm going to react.